bad catch-up.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are listening to Truth in the Morning. Happy Friday. It is Friday, September 5th, exactly 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. We are broadcasting live this morning from the American Family Insurance Studio. And I am so excited because as I am guest co-hosting, putting the emphasis on the I am joined by I'm over here looking at this bald head going on. You always have a cap on. What do we owe?
I forgot to put my hat on. I was sitting here doing all this stuff, and then I forgot to put my hat on. And then I looked at the screen. I was like, hey, my bald head looks kind of sexy.
I was going to say, ladies, if you are not already watching us live on YouTube, please, for the sake of just having some reason to get up this morning, check out Brother Dame's bald head on our YouTube channel.
I don't often
101.7 The Truth.
You
can see it now.
Bald head, you know, I often keep
78.
78. Stunt on us some more if you don't. Why don't you stunt on us? We call that the accidental stunt. You know.
Oh, that was very intentional. That wasn't accidental. That was what we call intentional shade. But anyway, Dame, it's nice to see you in your nice, shiny, bald head. Like I said, you didn't warn me, so I'm just processing because I've never seen you without a hat on, ever in life.
I had no idea it was going to happen. You know, I got my Kayla Lewis, we got rooting for everybody from Milwaukee 414 Love hat. And I just forgot to put it on. It was sitting right here. I came in, I was rushing in, I was sweating, and took my hat off. Now I kind of like it, so I'm going to let it run.
I do too. And shout out to Miss Lewis because I have her We Rooting for Everybody in Milwaukee t-shirt.
Yeah, see how we support each other.
We have to.
That's what black people
We have to. So we got a lot of good topics this morning, Dame, that we're going to be talking about. But before we get into our topics, got a quick question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you happen to view there's two documentaries that I've just watched on Netflix over the week. Mm-hmm. One was the Jussie Smollett documentary.
I watched that.
On that. Did you watch it?
I did. A friend of mine actually from Dallas was like, you got to check this out. Oh, no, from Baltimore was like, you got to check this out. So I was like, okay. And we talked about it. You know, I initially went into it thinking, you know, like the rest of America, Jussie Smollett is a something else. You know, what is wrong with this dude? He's nuts, right? But then after you watch it, you like, maybe he's not nuts.
You know, like him, my grandma used to say, something in the milk ain't clean. And after watching that documentary, Dame, I was like, now look, you know how we are. Wait a minute. Hold up. So do we want to because I want to pick your brain on this a little bit, but also don't want to give it away for those who have not seen.
That might not be able to happen, but you can try.
Okay, bump it. So if you have not viewed the Jussie Smollett documentary on Netflix and you're very interested in watching it, you might want to turn your volume down for a little bit. Give us about 60 seconds. Otherwise, lean in. So, Dame, I felt the same way you did, but I want to get like your 3 takeaways. What were your top 3 takeaways from watching this?
My top 3 takeaways are, 1, Jussie Smollett loves Subway, because it was a polar vortex, and this brother was so hungry, he walked in the middle of a polar vortex to Subway.
Well, he had just landed, remember? See, we didn't know that part.
Yeah,
he had just landed. He came in from somewhere.
Yeah, and he just had on a sweater coat. So he might be superhuman, withstanding the cold. That's one. Two, the Nigerian brothers need a show, because I have never seen anything that blatantly, how can I put it, blatantly self-promoting. They were the way they self-promoted and the way they came across as if, we beat the system, and so now we are gonna make they on red carpets. Why are you on red carpets? You are attempted battery. That's what you have on you. You snitched on somebody, per your words. So why are you on the red carpet? What is all of that? That's two. Three, of course, everything you see in the media and everything you read may not be everything that's the truth. And in this case, it wasn't everything that was the truth, because it was so much that we didn't hear about. So it just goes to show you how the media can be manipulated, and the information that you are given can be manipulated to form a picture where you think you're seeing something, that you're making your own decision. But in reality, and I hate to sound like, a Trumpster, or hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but this is true. The mainstream media, the way that it presented its picture of this, only gave you one option. This dude is crazy. This dude is lying. He done made up this whole thing. And black people, we had already determined that Jussie Smollett was out his mind. But when it comes down and you sit and you watch this documentary, the information that was left out adds enough doubt to it that you're like, wait a minute. Was those some white boys that was walking on that street? They look white. And if they not white, they at the very least they light skinned. And these are two Nigerian brothers.
At that moment, Dame, at that moment when they showed the surveillance camera and the sun was starting to come up, I was like, hold up. There was some very light-skinned Nigerians. I ain't met too many light-skinned Nigerians. I'm not saying they don't exist, but it to me, to your point, Jussie Smollett, I feel like he basically was looking for some attention, and some folks started getting frustrated and said, we got to get rid of this brother for a variety of reasons. Now, before, to your point, because anybody who lives in Wisconsin, Illinois, or Minnesota, or Michigan, during the months of January and February, we know nobody is leaving their house at 2 o'clock in the morning to get anything.
No.
So there was still some speculation, but I do not think that Jussie Smollett just woke up and said, I'm going to fabricate a racial attack. I do think there's more to what happened based on the documentary. Now, shout out to Milwaukee, because I don't know if you peeped this, Dame, but Milwaukee was in that documentary. Did you peep Frank Gatson?
I didn't. Who was in there?
Okay, so shout out to Frank Gatson. If y'all don't know Frank Gatson, he's actually been on the Truth before. So he is originally born and raised in Milwaukee. He comes to Milwaukee a lot. Actually, matter of fact, he helps coordinate the YWCA's big fundraiser every year. But he's worked with Michael Jackson, Beyonce, En Vogue, and he is a proud Milwaukeean. Shout out to Frank Gatson. But he was in the scene when the police came to Jussie Smollett's apartment and he had the noose around his neck.
Oh, that was.
And remember that guy? That was him.
He's on Empire, and so you have to watch out. And he may not want this all over the news. That was Frank Gatson.
Frank Gatson was working at the time as Jussie Smollett's creative director, and so when Jussie landed, I believe Frank Gatson had picked him up and brought him back to his home, and then that's what you see. But yeah, that's Milwaukee right there. I was like, oh, they got Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the documentary. Frank Gasson, shout out to my brother Frank.
Milwaukee,
Yep, that was him.
And you know what? And if I had to add another point, the point is that the fourth point would be the ineptitude of the police department and how it appears the way that they laid it out, that the police department just dropped the ball and fabricated a lot of what went against Jussie Smollett because of the conditions they were in. And because of the young man that had gotten murdered not too long before that, and the police department being under the fire, the way they made it, the story they told was like, oh, I could see that happening. I could see the police, being in the police department, and not only the police department, the detectives being under fire, because then eventually the detective that is running the case gets fired for lying about being drunk on the job. So
and here's the thing, Dame. I'm glad you brought that up, because the investigative reporters, along with the producers of the documentary, Truth Nation, this documentary, Netflix, I'm telling you, they're on a whole different level. They went across the pond and got investigative reporters from like Britain. And
no connections to none of this.
No connections, so no bias. And they were digging, and basically they didn't have to dig too hard, but there is a proven pattern of where Chicago Police Department police officers and investigators fabricate, lie, misconstrue. I mean, Dame, you saw it. They had like documentation. So
it was all
I don't know, but
and then again, maybe we're being manipulated again. But all I'm saying is the original point of the fact
now you do sound like a conspiracy theorist.
Maybe we're being manipulated again. I don't know. But my heart and my gut tells me there's more to the Jussie Smollett than we are.
Yes.
Than we have been told. And the fact that even after it went to, I think it went to the Supreme Court and he got out. They like overturned it or did something. People don't, that wasn't all over the news. I didn't know that. I didn't know that it went to the Supreme Court of Illinois and it basically got overturned and he got out. I didn't know that.
But it's like you said, the media, they let us know what they want us to know. And so thank goodness for Netflix documentaries. Yeah. We do have to take a break, Brother Dame. When we come back, we're going to get into, so if you have not already heard, there was a major hearing on Capitol Hill yesterday between the Senate and our Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., regarding vaccinations. And so as Black folks, we felt some type of way about vaccinations to begin with, but the local Milwaukee police superintendent has reacted publicly, and we're going to get into that regarding vaccinations. Necessary, not necessary. Let's get into it. 833-212-1017. It's Friday, y'all. We got Brother Dame. We got Sister DT.
Yes.
And we got Andrew on the ones and twos. We about to get it, y'all. Stay locked in. We'll be back.
You're listening to Truth in the Morning on 1017 The Truth. Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth Black Business Give Back Spotlight this Friday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I'll be joined by Felicia, owner of Gimme Cake, where we will discuss what inspired her to start a Southern-style cake made from scratch business and why she offers commercial kitchen space for other business owners to use. So again, tune into the Black Business Give Back Spotlight with Gimme Cake this Friday at 3:57 p.m. right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Truth Nation, are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Well, attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, September 11th from noon to 3 p.m. in the parking lot of Walgreens located at 9040 West Good Hope Road. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and so much more. They will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments, all while supplies last. Brought to you by by Alderman Mark Chambers Jr., Alderman Lamont Westmoreland, and Alderwoman Larissa Taylor. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
This summer, your wishes take center stage at WishFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all summer for over $1 million in prizes and earn entries into the WishFest prize drawings on Friday, September 26th. Your entries from July, August, and September all count. Plus, 5 lucky winners will have their ultimate wish granted. Wish big, win big. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and rewards member to play.
Ride the wave to clean at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 per day. Plus, skip the wait in the fast lane and enjoy unbeatable amenities like free vacuums and tire air. Visit any of their convenient locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, Mount Pleasant, and New Berlin. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. One call, that's all.
Make your home safer. Get rid of unused household chemicals at MMSD Home Hazmat Drop-Off. It's free to visit a collection center. Get all the info you need at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
Good morning. Good morning. If you're just tuning in, happy Friday. That's right. It's Friday, y'all. We made it. Even though it was a short week, even though we had an extra weekend day, Dame, I'm still tired.
I had the 3-day weekend, but when you work as much as you and I do, you know, a 3-day weekend is not really, what does it mean, you know?
I love how you said that. What does it mean? What does it mean?
What does it all mean? That's
We try to keep it simple, but we'd rather make it hard, Dame.
There you go.
It could all be so simple.
It could all be so simple.
But we'd rather make it hard. Speaking of hard, all right, Truth Nation, let's get into it. Now, Dame, here's the thing, and I'm going to keep it 101.7 The Truth before we get into this topic. Because I know we about to get some smoke from our valued Truth Nation listeners and viewers. By the way, you can stream and watch Dame and I live on our YouTube channel, 101.7 The Truth. Join the chat board because it's on fire. So Dame, let's get real. Black folks have always had an uphill battle with healthcare access. We deal with education gaps, and oftentimes, especially within this administration, political agendas that just don't always have us in mind. So here comes another controversy. Not sure if you knew or not, but yesterday, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. attended a Senate committee hearing regarding the state of vaccinations in this country. Now, Robert F. Kennedy has already fired a number of Center for Disease Control and Prevention employees. A lot of them has also left. And it's always been a controversy, but to now say that there is no need for vaccinations, especially for children who are entering schools with thousands of other students, So let's get into this, because there's a number of senators that are calling for Secretary Kennedy's to step down, basically saying that RFK Jr. is, quote, endangering the nation's health by spreading inaccurate health information, including, we don't need no vaccinations.
He's nuts.
So much to where our superintendent, the Milwaukee Public School superintendent, has responded. So before we get into your thoughts, Dame, as well as Truth Nation, let's take a listen to the superintendent of the Milwaukee Public Schools in response to the call to eliminate vaccines within schools within the country, period. Let's hear from her.
School children, do you have thoughts on that as a superintendent and what that could mean?
Well, I think that's reckless and ridiculous, quite honestly. I think that, you have to have vaccines for children. They are very much proven. And I think that it's dangerous for our children who are in these close, vicinities of classrooms.
Blake, much more of our conversation.
All right, so that was superintendent, and it's Casillas? It's Brenda, how do you pronounce her last name?
Is it Casillas?
Casillas? Okay, so Brenda Casillas, the Milwaukee Public Schools superintendent. That was a soundbite from her in response to Secretary of Health and Human Services Department, RFK Jr. Now, the question I have for you, Dame, let's get into it. Because vaccines have historically been a source of protection, but also a lot of folks in our community do not trust vaccines as being a source of protection. So where do we draw the line between protecting the community and respecting individual rights? Because eliminating vaccines, it's not going to just affect one child. It could affect classrooms, it could affect teachers, it could affect families who may already have lack of access to healthcare. But on the other hand, do we feel that these vaccine requirements control our choices? What are your thoughts before we get into Truth Nation?
What I think is we have to understand the nature of vaccines. And vaccines provide a group protection. They only work if everybody is taking them, right? You can be vaccinated, but if somebody else isn't, they've come in and now it's spreading even amongst those who are vaccinated. That's just how vaccinations work. It's not automatically like you just have this cloak of impunity upon you. There's nothing. That's not how it works. Second, we have to get past a lot of the conspiracy stuff that we dive into because of, again, what we may see on social media, what some of our leaders may say. We have to get past all of that and understand the scientific facts. And the scientific facts are vaccinations have worked. Polio, all of those other diseases that were running rampant are no longer running rampant because of vaccinations. What we have done is we have added into it other scientific that maybe these vaccinations are causing other issues in the body. We don't know. But what we do know is they work. And so to say I'm just not going to do it because I believe this, that, and the other, at some point you're causing a community, scare. You're causing a community to be in danger. Now, with the COVID-19, initially I was like, I'm not taking this vaccine. I'm not doing all that. I'm not doing none of that, right? But I had to for the city of Milwaukee and my job. And I understood why I needed to. If I'm going to be in contact with the public, I need to take protections that would.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If you were someone who was employed by a company where you could work from home, would you still feel the same way?
If I was like, I'm not coming into the office, I'm not doing none of that stuff, I'm staying home, then I wouldn't feel like I needed to take the vaccination.
Okay, so see that now we're getting somewhere, because here's the thing. A lot of this, Dame, is generational perspective.
Absolutely.
it's generational perspective because, and Andrew, thank you so much for putting that up. Andrew, if you're watching us live on our YouTube channel, which is 101.7 The Truth, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our hot shows, or definitely make sure you hit that like button. Now, right here is a visual of the measles cases in the United States. So for those who are not watching us, but listening, the number of measles cases has dropped drastically based on what appears to be the measles vaccine between the years, let's see, all the way up to 1971. Now, in 1989, through the year 1991, a double dose of the measles vaccination was recommended. And you see another drop in measles cases. So this is the first time in about, I'd say 35 plus years where measles are growing in the United States, and especially in the state of, and I hate to say it, Texas. Now, going back, Dame, to the generational perspective. Now, I'm a Gen Xer. I'm not trying to put your business out there, so if you don't want to reveal your age, I ain't mad. So as a Gen Xer, I lived through chicken pox because I got the vaccination. I lived through the measles scare because I got the vaccination. And obviously how vaccinations were socialized when my parents were making those decisions is different now. So I do believe that it's a generational perspective as well when it comes to trusting the government, trusting the healthcare systems, and even trusting our school districts, because you just heard from the superintendent of Milwaukee Public Schools. So do we believe, and I'm asking this question to you, Dame, and Truth Nation, do we feel that the current vaccine requirements are truly protecting our kids, or are they controlling our choices? Because as far as RFK Jr. is concerned, we don't need none of this. And so if vaccines are eliminated, are you going to feel safe sending your children, your grandchildren, or children within your care to school?
No, I won't. I won't feel safe because you just showed it on the chart just with the measles. And measles is having a return in the state of Wisconsin. They're talking about the measles and stuff like that, and people in the country, people are catching the measles again when it was almost eradicated. And why are people catching the measles again? Because people are refusing to get their children vaccinated. The vaccination does this and does that. Well, we take other medications that may cause something else, and that's what. And I'm on the other side of it. During COVID-19, I was on the other side, but now I'm back. I'm back and I'm following science. And science states, and the graph you just showed stated that when people take the vaccinations, it goes away. It goes down. And now it's rising back up. Why? Like you just said, because people don't trust the media, they don't trust the government, they don't trust anything. And so they're not going to trust the vaccinations.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Well, I don't like to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, play something else.
I'm just gonna play
ain't no evil
counter. So, what lessons should Gen Xers, should we be passing down to younger generations about navigating these health decisions? Because if we are currently living in a system that we don't trust or that we feel does not have our best interests at heart, then we still got to go to school, Dame. We still got to send our kids to school. So what do we need to do as maybe older generations that have lived again through the chicken pox and through the measles and even, during the early AIDS crisis?
Listen,
we've lived through all of that. So what do we need to pass down to the younger generations?
What we need to pass down to the younger generation is stop getting your information off of social media. Stop getting your pertinent, your most important information straight from social media. You can see it on social media, but go read a journal. Go read something where an authority, someone of the science, not somebody that has just read a lot of books, and somebody who has written something that has had to be questioned and tested and had to be put through the rigors of academia. See what they say. And if they agree with what you're saying, fine. If they don't, then you should really rethink what it is you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because we live in a world, I was just telling somebody this yesterday, we live in a world where 400 years ago they thought the world was flat. We live in a world where they didn't know, Europeans didn't know that it was other people across. That's how stupid they was. They thought they was smart as hell. They didn't know that it was people across the ocean. So I say all of that to say we can have these beliefs and we can think what we want to think, but do your research. Learn about something. Just don't accept what somebody else is telling you.
Well, when we come back, we're going to hear more from Brother Dame, because one of the questions that I have for you, Truth Nation, is have you ever got sick from something that was preventable? Did vaccines protect your family, or do you feel that they were forced on you? Because what this might be is a debate about, is this really a health-related issue, or is this about politics and power? So we're going to get into that when we come back. Stay locked in. You are listening to Truth in the Morning with your guest co-host, Dame, the legendary Brother Dame Elzie, and your girl DT, the effective communication coach. 833-212-1017. We'll be back.
You're listening to Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at weenergies.com. We Energies, people you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Got outgrown kids' clothes, toys, books, and baby gear? Turn clutter into cash at Just Between Friends, Milwaukee County. Consigners earn 60% and get to shop early with a friend. Unsold items? Donate to help local families in need. The sale runs September 18th through the 21st at Wisconsin State Fair Expo Center. Pre-sale September 18th. Free shopping September 19th and 20th, plus half price pre-sale and sale. Paid and free tickets available online. Register to consign, drop off items September 17th, pick up or donate September 22nd. Visit Milwaukee County JBFsale.com, helping families say yes.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
You ever notice how the phrase 9 to 5 sounds just so old school? That's because in 2025, the 9 to 5 is as outdated as a rotary phone. Let's be real. The world has changed, and the way we work has changed with it. The gig economy is booming. Folks are making money on their own terms, driving Ubers, delivering DoorDash, freelancing, and side hustling their way to the bag. And then there's the work-from-home revolution. People are clocking in from their kitchen tables, their favorite coffee shops, or even the beach. Laptops open, pajamas on, productivity up. The virtual office is now the new corner office, and the only commute is from the bed to the desk. Let's not forget about the digital nomads, those bold souls who turn the world into their workplace. They're sending emails from Bali, closing deals in Barcelona, and living life on their own schedule. No time clock, no cubicle, just Wi-Fi and a dream. And 21st century entrepreneurship, well, it's a whole new game. You can launch a business from your phone, build a brand on Instagram, and make more in a week than some folks do in a month without even punching a clock. So who's still working that old 9 to 5 job? People who are resistant to change or maybe just can't adapt. The future belongs to the flexible, the creative, the hustlers who know how to make technology work for them. The 9 to 5, well, that's a museum piece. The real action is happening outside the box, where freedom and opportunity are just a click away.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Westbound 94 backing up back through the Marquette interchange all the way to the Stadium interchange. There's a broken down vehicle there that is blocking the left lane. So that is causing big delays out heading all the way back to the Marquette. We do still have the other accident on 94 eastbound at Highway G. A car went off into the ditch. Crews are out there trying to help hoist it out of there, but it is going to be there for a little bit. Looks like volume is okay heading past that scene, so we're not seeing too many delays. Southbound 41 also backing up a bit from Appleton Avenue down past Capitol Drive. Northbound's a little slow around Mayfair Road all the way up past North Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly sunny, windy, cool, a high of 63. Tonight, mainly clear and breezy, a low of 47. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
Calling all black-owned businesses, owners, and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We have teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black-Owned Business Give Back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. To sign up for your business spotlight interviews, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That is blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community's backbone through exposure on the truth. For official rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank, member FDIC.com. Did I say
.com?
.com.
You got to put that .com on the end. What's going on, Truth Nation? That's right. You heard that is brother Dame Elzy with your girl DT, the Effective Communication Coach. We are so excited to be with you this Friday morning. I'm going to say it again. It's Friday, y'all. And for those that just got paid, let your girl hold something. In the meantime, between time,
paid.
Come on.
Friday night.
Hey, hey. Hey.
Ooh. See, that's that 80s. They don't know nothing about that. The 90s, 80s, you know, that's how we get down. Gen X. And
that's how we got down. And speaking of which, because we're going to talk about generational stuff today, we've been talking about vaccinations. So to sum it up before we go to our callers, because our Truth Talking text line is blowing up, our YouTube message board, got to give a shout out to our folks in the YouTube message board. Princess Beverly Ann, good morning. Africa Queen, good morning. Africa Queen said, I don't sound as good. Thank you, Africa Queen. I know we're working on it, but we still here for y'all, but we working on it. Change is inevitable. All right. Now, before we go to the phone lines, let me just set this up for those that are just tuning in. Good morning. Yesterday, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. attended a Senate committee meeting regarding his status on vaccinations. And basically, RFK Jr. is saying, get rid of them all. And a lot of folks are saying, wait a minute, hold up. If we get rid of vaccinations, there's going to be a lot of cooties spreading. Now, in our community, there's been some historical flashpoints that have basically seeded this mistrust. We've got a lot of experiences over the past 20, 30 years that have reinforced the mistrust of government, healthcare requirements. But before we get into some more data, let's go to our Truth Talking text line. Good morning, Al. Thank you for your patience. You are live with Brother Dame and DT on Truth in the Morning. What is your question or comment?
Well, my comment is I don't understand how anybody is going to, you can't tell me about my health and you failed at your own health as a drug addict while you're grinding up parakeet bird smoothies in a blender. And I don't understand how anybody who know about crack, coke, dope, SOS pads, and steel wool and a straight shooter gonna tell me about my health. That's like an alcoholic trying to tell me how to be sober when he's still dipping and dabbing. That's like a dope fiend crackhead trying to tell me how to be healthy. The only thing you can tell me is where to buy the dope and when to do the dope. That's it. And when we look at it, nobody is allowing their kids to swim in water with E. coli. So we got to keep in mind we have some undereducated people sitting at the table. Would you let somebody tell you how to be healthy and they don't know nothing about crack and dope and syringe needles?
No, I would not, Al. That's a great question. I would not. The answer is no.
There you go. So we already have the question. Have a great weekend, everybody, and get all the money you're entitled to.
I know that's right. Thank you so much, Al. So, Dane, reactions. What you feel about Al?
Smoothie. What is I mean, is that some type of lingo I don't know, Andrew? A parakeet smoothie, DT? Parakeet smoothie?
I've never had one.
Parakeets and smoothies? Is that like a conspiracy term or something? I don't know. But Al is right. We listening to RFK or whatever K he is, and this dude is first of all, he's doing his family. They've got to be ashamed of this man. You talking about the Kennedys and their status that they had once had in this country, and here comes this dude, and here he comes, and he's talking about parakeet smoothies. He's talking about not taking vaccinations. He's talking about all these conspiracy things and making them and normalizing them, and from his position as in the cabinet of Donald Trump. So. Yeah.
Well, let's get into some facts here, because I get where you're coming from, Dane, and I also can actually empathize and sympathize with Al and a lot of us as Black folks who just don't trust vaccinations, especially those that are mandated by the government. Now, let's go back to the COVID pandemic. So in October of 2020, and this is according to the Center of Disease Control. So this is according to the CDC. In October of 2020, about half of Black adults in America said they would not get a COVID-19 vaccine, which was obviously a reflection of the uncertainty and mistrust. Okay. Now, by April 2021, so about 6 months later, 46.3% of Black adults versus 59% of white adults were taking the minimum dose required. Mm-hmm. Now, by November of 2021, the gaps continued to get broader. So 78.2% of Black folks were like, Now, fast forward to 2024, 2025. Coverage amongst pregnant women was 7.2% versus Black women, 7.2% for Black women versus 23.6% for Asian women, which is a huge disparity as far as the COVID vaccine. White adults continue to show higher flu vaccination coverage than Black and Hispanic adults, according to the CDC in years 2023, 2024. And Black children that were born in 2020 were 10% less likely to be fully immunized by 24 months than white children. So there's a lot of data regarding the disparities, the mistrust, the gaps between Black people and white people, or Black and brown people and white people when it comes to vaccinations. Why do you think that is?
Tuskegee.
I knew you were going to say that.
There's a book called The Medical Experiments on Black people. I can't remember the specific name, but it details all of the experiments and all of these types of things that have been done in medicine against Black people throughout the history of America. And Tuskegee just being the one that we know about the most, because it went around when it happened for the longest period of time, from the 30s to the 70s, that in our lifetime, this was still going on. There's other medical experiments that have happened to Black people where we've had Mississippi, why is it slipping my name? Where the women in Mississippi had their vaginas taken out. We had that. And it became all
the cervical. Her name was, I just had it too. Henrietta Lacks. And really quick, the cervical cancer cells were taken without her knowledge or consent. Yep, Dane, we got a caller live. Dan, thank you so much for holding. You were live with Brother Dame and your girl DT on 101.7. What is your question or comment?
What's happening, guys? Good morning. I was actually calling to comment on this because I'm so glad that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is back on his BS because, like I said, if y'all didn't know, whether you know it or you don't know it, we at war. And it's physical, spiritual, and you know what? Here's the thing. I say, go ahead and go on with it, and we're going to see who's going to survive because, see, black people have survived for millions of years. They haven't. We taught them their history and the things that they learned medically and academically. So go ahead, and we're going to see who the strongest is.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, Dan, for your call. Appreciate it. Dame, what you think? Because, I mean, so far, I'm hearing a lot of, I'm not with the vaccinations from our callers, where you started off saying, yes, it's necessary, because if we don't have vaccinations, we're going to have a lot of cooties spread.
Listen, we have to realize the difference between the vaccinations, historical vaccinations that have worked, the polio and stuff. We've had our issues with the medical societies and the medical community as black people, but that doesn't prevent us from going to the doctor. We still tell black people you need to go to the doctor every 6 months, even though we know of the Tuskegee experiments, even though we know of things like, did you know that suntan lotion was created off of black people? They put them in places and did all this stuff, and they created suntan lotion for white people off of slaves. That type of stuff, right? We all know all of this happened, but we still got to go to the doctor. We all know the history of this country and the things that it has transpired and done to black people, but we're still Americans, and we're still here, right? So with that being said, we have to understand the difference between the vaccinations for polio and the measles and all of these other epidemics that have hit this country and the COVID. The COVID vaccination was created in 6-7 months. So I understand you having questions about that. It's 6-7 months. What type of studies did they do? How do they know? Because these other vaccinations, they were decades, years of studies where they know everything, well, mostly everything that's going to happen with it. So I understand people having concerns about the COVID vaccination. But this other stuff, we got to get them shots. We got to get the polio shot. We got to get the measles shot. We got to get our kids vaccinated to go to classrooms and be around other people's kids. That's just something we got to do.
Well, in terms of what we got to do, let's get into also, because what I'm hearing from both you and our listeners is that it doesn't seem as though this is a vaccination hesitancy. It seems as though it's a trusting the system hesitancy. So we come back from break. We're going to get into that. Before that, I got to let y'all know, it is time to throw back more than just tequila as Milwaukee's premier festival returns for year 3 at the beautiful Franklin Field. And guess what? You got it. The award-winning 101.7 The Truth has the hookup for you. Truth Nation, right now. That's right. Right now is your chance to win a pair of tacos and tequila festival tickets live at Franklin Field next Saturday. All you got to do right now is call 833-212-1017. Our amazing producer is ready to take caller number 6. If you are caller number 6 right now, you're going to win these tickets. Again, call 833-212-1017 and get you those tequila and tacos and tequila festival tickets right now. Stay locked in. We're going to get more into the vaccinations. Is this really a matter of us not trusting the vaccinations, or we just don't flat out trust the system? When we come back, we're going to get more into that. We got other hot topics. 833-212-1017 is our Truth Talk and text line. You got Brother Dame, the legendary Brother Dame, LZ, in the building, along with your girl, DT, the effective communication coach. Let's get it. It's Friday.
You're listening to Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
The expression on your face, that's got to me. and the man wasn't lying.
What you mean the expression on my face? How can you see my face? You listening to me on the radio, man.
No, I'm watching you on YouTube, too.
Oh, all right, then. You're an old man, and you know about YouTube. How old are you, Adam? You about 85.
83.
I'll be dipped. How blessed are we to have you?
Watch all your favorite 1017 The Truth shows by subscribing to 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Tory Lowe on the go, a call to action this Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. We'll be broadcasting live from rural Wisconsin on the Tory Lowe Show. We'll be discussing the shocking case of a 14-year-old teen who was brutally beaten and pressed against a meat grinder in a barn. Do not miss this important conversation as we shed light on this hate crime. Join me live as we explore the complexities of this case and what it means to our community. Your voice matters, and I want to hear from you. Call in and share your thoughts, and let's work together to create positive change.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on drawing Thursday. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward plate, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Ride the wave to clean at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 per day. Plus, skip the wait in the fast lane and enjoy unbeatable amenities like free vacuums and tire air. Visit any of their convenient locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, Mount Pleasant, and New Berlin. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com. Truth Nation, are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Well, attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, September 11th from noon to 3 p.m. in the parking lot of Walgreens located at 9040 West Good Hope Road. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and so much more. They will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments, all while supplies last. Brought to you by Alderman Mark Chambers Jr., Alderman Lamont Westmoreland, and Alderwoman Larissa Taylor. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
This is Truth in the Morning on 1017 The Truth.
Can you believe the first hour is already, this is flying, Dane? What's going on? It's already almost
That's how it goes. We're having a good
hour.
time. We're having a good time.
Is that what it is? We're having a good time?
Yeah. We're having a conversation.
With that
like you said, this
shiny, sexy, bald head of yours. Let's go, Dane.
Do my
Shoot.
old man dance because you're giving me compliments. Ooh.
Well, trust and believe, this is not a one-on-one conversation, because if it was a one-on-one conversation, there'd be some things that we'd be talking about.
Come on now. Here you go.
What'd you say? I just said there's be some things we talk about. Look at your brain.
Here, DT.
Stay focused, Dane.
DT,
You're always going there.
Andrew, DT is the biggest flirt in all of the world. If there was a championship belt, it would have DT's picture on it. And it'd have world champion on the bottom. Like, you know, like the WWF belt, it'd have world champion.
You know what? DT. Andrew, you don't have to say anything.
Champion flirter.
I received that.
You should. You can't resist it. It's some things you just have to accept.
Listen, Dave, I can't help it if I see the best in men.
See how you do it? That you flipped it, and I gotta accept that. Yeah.
Truth Nation, before we get back to our topics, I do have to call out Brother Dane. Because matter of fact, I wasn't even gonna bring it up, but since you just called me the flirt champion. So back when we broadcasted live, when 101.7 The Truth broadcasted live during this past 2025 Juneteenth celebration.
Yes, man.
We had a lot of heavy hitters that came to the booth that sat down with many of the truth personalities that you love, including Brother Dame. We had Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley. We had former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. Anyway, County Executive David Crawley came to our booth, sat down, and see what Dame didn't know is that even after I had left the booth, I was still listening. So I heard what you said, Brother Dame. You was like, yeah, you know how Denise is. She always gassing folks up. She always yeah, I heard you. I wasn't going to break. Look at you. I heard you. You just never know. You remember, that's why you laughing.
Yeah, because you, DT, you are a flirt and you are a gasser. You listen,
no,
let me tell y'all the story. So we sitting there, in case you weren't listening.
That's why you laughing.
We were sitting in Juneteenth. We were sitting there, right? Me and DT. DT's doing the interviews. And you know, like Mandela came, who, you know, he's rumored to be running for governor. Crawley came. He's rumored to be running for governor as well. There's not many rumors about it. I think that would be a great choice. But needless to say, as they both came, she was told them both, you know you're my favorite person. You know, like a mama does. You know, like a mama does. A mama will be like, you know you're my favorite, right? When they got one of the kids along, DT was like, you know you're my favorite politician, right?
I said one of my favorites.
Look, y'all, she looked them deep in their eyes. Look how I'm looking in the camera. You know you're my favorite politician, right? That's how she did.
Okay, I'll tell you what. So, Andrew, let's see. We're going to go to break because we got to get to our second hour. So let's see if we can actually pull that audio up from Juneteenth, and let's do some investigative reporting because I said one of my favorites.
There we go.
All right, y'all. We get ready to come back to our second hour. Stay locked in. You're going to hear from Brother Dame Elsley as well as the Gasser. Yours truly, the Gasser, DT, the effective communication coach. Stay locked in for our second hour. This is Friday, y'all. We're going to have some fun for the next hour. Stay locked in. You're listening to The Truth in the Morning with Brother Dame Elsie and your girl DT on the award-winning 101.7 FM, The Truth.
Truth Nation. Join Truth to Power this Friday, September 5th at Steinhoffel's Menominee Falls from 12 to 1 p.m. The Labor Day sale is extended. Save 10% store-wide or get 36 months 0% financing with purchases over $1,999. And take part in the Test Rest promotion. Try any mattress, get a $20 lunch gift card, and Steinhoffel's donates $20 to Special Spaces Wisconsin. And when you spend over $1,999, you'll get a $100 Packers gift card. See you Friday at Steinhoffel's.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey Milwaukee, it's me, Coach Erica. Are you an author with a story to tell? Join me and authors from around the world at the second annual Black Child Book Fair happening Saturday, October 25th at the Mary Ryan Boys and Girls Club. Celebrate culture, creativity, and community and share your books with readers of all ages. Visit blackchildbookfair.com to learn more and register today.
Catch all the action of Hilltoppers football on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app and 1017thetruth.com. The Hilltoppers are back in action this Friday on the road against the Brookfield Central Lancers. Join our coverage on The Truth starting at 6:30 p.m. with the Hilltoppers pregame show, leading up to kickoff at 7 p.m. Marquette University High School football is presented by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. And sponsored by Left's Lucky Town, CJ Schmidt, Capital Insurance Agency, Boyle Fredrickson, Annex Wealth Management, Magic Productions, and Burghardt Sporting Goods.
The biggest snowflakes out here have always been the white Republicans, who are so gung-ho on protecting the feelings of white kids while they ignore the needs of other kids. If Milwaukee's youth has a problem with fighting, well, white youth have a problem with being destructive and offensive. So it is sad that our government is actively working to de-emphasize educating and uplifting students of color in different backgrounds on college campuses. That emphasis is going to be diminished, and the only kids that will suffer will be our kids. They were willing to hold up the advancement of the state of Wisconsin because they disagree with DEI. What are white Republicans afraid of? Why are they afraid to face the fact that their grandmas and grandpapas were part of a system which purposely held black folks back and failed to give us the access that we deserve? Until these politicians stop ignoring these egregious acts of hate and racial incidents, America can never be great again.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. You are listening to the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations. 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is Truth in the Morning on 1017 The Truth.
Yeah. What the business is? What the business is? Yeah, what the business is? We want to know what your business is. Hey, DT, this is our slogan. What the business is?
Hey.
What your business is? Yeah, what the business is? Yeah, we want to know what your business is. Come on now. What the business is?
Hey,
what the business is? We want to know what your business is. Yeah. What the business is? DT.
You got me over here rocking.
We want to know what your business is. Come on, y'all. Tell us what your business is. Let's go. Yeah.
If you haven't gathered, Dame is asking y'all
what your business is. See how I caught that? I'm a professional.
I love it. Are you gonna freestyle for us, Brother Dame?
No, that's it. That's all I'm
going to do. You're not gonna drop a bar?
That's the bars right there. That's the chorus. That's the chorus for this segment. Is what the business is.
Dave, look at my face.
Business is.
Look at my face.
I'm looking at your face.
Come on. Hold on. Let me do the only child daddy's girl look. Hold on. Dame, are you not gonna do a freestyle?
You know I would.
Why you turn away? Why you not looking? Why you not looking, Dame?
Oh, look at you. Oh, I love that hair.
Thank you. Are we not gonna do a freestyle, please?
I typically would, but I am just getting over a cold.
You see the lip?
I see.
You see the lip?
The sad look. Oh. I don't go for that. I got 5 girls. I don't go for that. Listen.
Yes, you do.
I typically do. I would do it, but I'm just getting over a cold, and I'd be coughing in the middle of it. That's the worst thing for a rapper to do is cough in the middle of a.
You ain't lying.
Cough in the middle of a freestyle, and the next thing you know, I'm going viral for rapper coughs in the middle of a freestyle. He sucks.
You would go viral, because I'm gonna tell you right now. I don't care if you're a rapper. I don't care who you are. If you cough in the middle of talking to me, I'm like, we good. Yeah. Great to see you, and I'm walking away.
He sucks. All this stuff I've done over the last 30 years will be wrapped up in coughing, trying to do a freestyle. So know your limitations.
Yeah, coughing is a big indicator to me that you have cooties. I give you, here's the thing. I give you grace. You get one cough, okay? Then you cough again, and I'm stopping. Hey. If I hear a third consecutive cough within a 10-second time frame, I'm out.
Hey, listen.
There ain't nothing between you. Yeah, I'm out. Like, I don't need to be.
You need to not be in people. You need to limit your exposure to people, and that's why I was up here the first 2 days of last week because I was coughing so much. I was like, I'm not even gonna go to the office. I could have come in and made it through the show, press the cough button. But why would I expose anyone through that? Until I can get it right.
Thank you. Because see, that's the problem, Dame. We got too many folks out here. See, that's where I'm kind of like 50-50 with the whole vaccinations. Because my thing is, before we even start talking about vaccinations, can we get back to just common courtesy, common etiquette? Do you know, because I fly in terms of work, I fly about 90% of the year, maybe 95% of the year. Like when I'm home, I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Dame, I cannot tell you how many, and Truth Nation, help me out on this because I know y'all see it too. I see grown people, even after living through a global pandemic for 2.5 years, where we were quarantined, mandated to wear masks, get shots, you still got grown people out here who cough without covering their mouth, Dame.
Right, and that's crazy. We were talking about that. Me and Homer were talking about that earlier this week, and we were talking about people not knowing the proper ways of covering their mouth and just not covering your mouth. You know, put your hair to your arm because that's spray.
Thank you.
That spray and my man Andrew threw up the graphic. That spray get all over the place. So you just doing a little into your fist. That ain't doing nothing. And then you cough in your fist. Now you're gonna shake people's hands. That's even
exactly.
You know, we worrying about these vaccines and all that, but we need to wash our hands. And wash our face.
Please.
That's my Al voice because I've heard Al say that. Wash your hands. And that's what we need to do.
Because for real, some of y'all are getting offended and because you're part of the problem. Stop going out in public with cooties and stop not covering your mouth. Please. That's nasty. That's nasty.
Stop being nasty and it'll help a long way in not needing vaccines. Stop being nasty. America.
See, there you go. Before we even get to the vaccines, which we've been talking about, so if you're just joining Dame and I, good morning. Happy Friday. It is September 5th, 2025, and we have been talking about vaccinations. If you did not already know, yesterday, Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services, which basically oversees anything to do with healthcare in this country. And he was a part of a Senate committee meeting where he obviously is against vaccinations, whereas the Senate, a lot of even Republicans, Dame, were like, what's wrong with you, bruh? Like, we need vaccination. So as far as the Black community, and this is based on the Center of Disease Control's studies and surveys over the past 3 years. Discrimination in healthcare. Okay, let's talk about how we even got to this mistrust. About 3 in 10 Black adults, about 30%, report a negative healthcare experience that led to, Dame, worse health or just avoiding care altogether or switching providers. 3 out of 10 Black people in this country. Among those pregnant or giving birth in the past decade, 22% say they were refused pain medication versus 10% of white adults. 22%. So the thing that Black people have had to deal with in terms of bias is, and we've all heard this, Dame, is pain assessment and treatment. So many doctors, medical providers have been taught and trained to believe this biological false perception that Black people feel less pain,
right? Which
then correlates with the undertreatment of pain medicine. And then finally, see, we got to talk about this. This is actual data that the Center of Disease Control is basing their decision making in terms of how they're funding and sourcing public healthcare facilities. 78% of Black adults reported a great deal or fair amount of confidence in medical scientists. 28% a great deal, 50% a fair amount. So there's still a concern when it comes to the overall confidence that Black people have compared to other racial groups when it comes to healthcare in this country or medical providers in this country. So that's a lot in terms of how we decide as Black adults how we're going to vaccinate ourselves as well as our children. To your point, Dame, go to school with thousands of other children and students day to day.
Listen, and I'm not mad at any Black person who feels the way they feel about the medical community because, like I said earlier, we have been treated unfairly by the medical community, and a little bit it still extends today. If you go to the hospital with someone and you see the way, and you're not the person being treated, and you're sitting there and you're just watching, from the outside looking in, you're seeing how sometimes These nurses come in with their own racial biases. These doctors come in with their own racial biases. So the facts are backed up by experience. So we get that. We get that black people have this distrust of the medical community. But we also have to have some type, because having too much lack of trust will lead you down the road of you just going to leave it in God's hands, which nothing's wrong with that. But God has given you this aspirin to take to help your pain. So we have to understand there has to be a balance in that. And if we don't have that balance, then we're left listening to Robert F.K. and we're talking about forget vaccinations and we're wearing 10 hats and all of this stuff. We can't go down that road.
And you know what's funny, Dame? Speaking of we can't go down that road, the road that I always don't go down to, and I am fully, when I tell you I come with the smoke, because I've had some medical procedures over the past 5 years. The first thing I say to my medical provider, we're going over the process, because when I say medical procedure, I mean surgical, is I want general anesthesia. Dame, I don't even play games. Because, and then, it's funny because when we talk about this bias, this perception that black people have a higher threshold for pain, whether I'm black or not, I'm telling you right now, I don't. And I always tell my medical provider, general anesthesia, knock me out. I don't want to feel anything because I don't want my doctor to feel like local anesthetics are good enough, or because I'm black, I got this high threshold of pain. I won't. Knock me out. Period.
And that comes from that idea that we can withstand pain comes from slavery. That comes from the way that we were treated as animals and the way that they felt as if we had because our brains were not as complex as the white man's brain as they thought. They had actual, studies on this stuff, and they thought that because of that, we didn't register pain. And so that's where it comes from. And that still extends to today. And so that just lets you know that, black people, you ain't all the way wrong in thinking the way you think and you have your distrust for the medical society. But I was in a class, an anthropology class, and the professor made sure to tell us all, and I was young, and she made sure to tell us all then know that a doctor is a doctor and they know a lot, but you are the boss of the doctor. So if you want to get a test, tell that doctor I'm going to get a test, like you do with your anesthesia. If you want to get it, I want it. You can't.
Yes, tell them up front.
You have to, and you have that right. So a lot of times, black people, we don't know that. So we go into offices and we just let people dictate to us. And
there it is.
We're sitting there like this person has this degree, he has this, but you know your body. And this is something my lady friend had to tell me, and we discussed about it a lot. She would be like, I know my body. That may work for you, but I know my body. And she's right. And we have to take that same mentality as we go into these medical atmospheres, go into these medical experiences that we go into. I know my body. I know what I want. I know what I need, and you're going to give it to me.
And you have to say it just like that. And so I like how you slid in lady friend. So we're going to take a break because I need to talk to Dame about this lady friend because obviously he's cheating on me. But in all seriousness, we come back because we do have to leverage the fact that we have Brother Dame who mentors and pours into a number of our young black men. When we come back from break, the New York Times, Truth Nation, recently ran an article called Race Related, a version of the talk that some black parents are having with their children. Now, when we say the talk, we're not talking about the birds and the bees, Truth Nation. We're talking about survival. Because when you are reading headlines about National Guard and military presence being deployed in majority black and brown cities and communities, it's time to have this conversation. And we've had it before, and black and brown parents are having to have it again to prepare our kids for encounters with authority, for navigating neighborhoods, and even now how to walk into a store. So I would also appreciate our non-black listeners to stay tuned because we come back, we're going to get into this talk because Brother Dame is an expert in this, but it is time, y'all. We're going to have this talk. If the New York Times published a whole article on this, you know it's getting real. So again, stay locked in because we're going to hear from Brother Dame. We're going to get his expertise and insight. We want to hear from you as well in terms of, are you preparing? Have you already had the talk with your children, especially your Black male children, about this projected military, stronger police presence in the streets? Because whether your child is behaving or not, they're still Black and they're still going to get profiled. So we need to make sure that they're ready. Stay locked in. 833-212-1017. We come back. Let's get into the talk.
You're listening to Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hey, is this Carolyn?
It is.
Congratulations, Carolyn. You just won this money.
Woo!
God is good all the time.
What would you do with $5,000?
I'm going to buy my nieces some school clothes because my nephew just passed away.
Aww.
So I'm going to get them some clothes.
Stay tuned into 101.7 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
Tory Lowe on the go, a call to action this Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. We'll be broadcasting live from rural Wisconsin on the Tory Lowe Show. We'll be discussing the shocking case of a 14-year-old teen who was brutally beaten and pressed against a meat grinder in a barn. Do not miss this important conversation as we shed light on this hate crime. Join me live as we explore the complexities of this case and what it means to our community. Your voice matters, and I want to hear from you. Call in and share your thoughts, and let's work together to create positive change.
This summer, your wishes take center stage at WishFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi rewards card all summer for over $1 million in prizes and earn entries into the WishFest prize drawings on Friday, September 26th. Your entries from July, August, and September all count. Plus, 5 lucky winners will have their ultimate wish granted. Wish big, win big. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and rewards member to play.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Truth Nation, are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Well, attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, September 11th from noon to 3 p.m. in the parking lot of Walgreens located at 9040 West Good Hope Road. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and so much more. They will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments, all while supplies last. Brought to you by Alderman Mark Chambers Jr., Alderman Lamont Westmoreland, and Alderwoman Larissa Taylor. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
It's Friday, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. If you're just tuning in, thank you so much. Hope you are having a great start to the weekend. We're already here in the weekend now. Let's get into it because we've got Brother Dame Elzy, living legend, Brother Dame Elzy. And I'm so glad that we have him because when you think about mentoring and coaching our young men, Dame is highly sought after and is committed and dedicated to pouring into our young men with power, with change, and encouraging confidence. So speaking of that, I got to take advantage that we have Dame here. The New York Times recently ran an article, and I encourage each of us to Google this article. The title of the article is called Race Related, a version of the talk that many Black parents are having with their children. Now, again, a lot of times when parents hear, have you had the talk with your children yet? A lot of communities think, oh, yeah, I've had a conversation about the birds and the bees, or I've talked to my kids about sex.
Yeah.
That ain't what Black folks mean when we say the talk.
Nope.
We talk to our children about survival. So fast forward, we are reading and hearing headlines about military force being deployed in our Black and brown communities in this country. They've already been deployed by the Trump administration to cities like Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. Now there are talks of Chicago, Baltimore, and yes, even here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We've covered that on The Truth across many of our shows. So, Dane, for generations, we've had to sit our kids down. You probably had the talk. You're the recipient of the talk on how to walk into a store without being followed or judged. Or if that happens, what do you do? All the psychological impacts that occur. So as just part of raising our kids. So my question is, when did you first have the talk, both as a child and as a parent, and how did it feel?
Well, the talk was had with me. Let's go back to, you talked about the militarization of American cities and the military. We've already dealing with the militarization of the police department as a whole. Now you're going to add some, now they want to add something else to that component, even though it's illegal and they can't do it. A militarization of the cities where these people don't even have no training in how to deal with the public. They just know how to fight wars and shoot off guns. That's one. Now, the first time I had the talk, I was a young man, and this white boy had beat up one of my white boyfriends. His name was Adamer. My daddy called him Adamer. Anyway, this dude was a bully, and he beat up my friend. And, you know, I'm young. I'm African-American. I wasn't scared of nothing. And so I beat this dude up. And so I punched him in his chest, in his face. I beat him up. He came back with his older brother, and he came to my door. My great-grandmother, you know, it's a typical Black family. You have your nuclear house, and you got your grandmother and your great-grandmother all in one place, right? And so he came back to the house, and he showed my grandmother, my Aunt Annette was at the house then, showed them the fist marks on his chest and on his face because he was white. So I beat him up, and he had these marks on him. And so,
oh, wow.
So my great-grandmother, now I'm only like 7 or 8, y'all. I'm like 9 or 10. I'm not a grown man or nothing like that. So my grandmother, my great-grandmother, who was from Mississippi, Macomb, Mississippi, born at the turn of the century, 1900s, actually like 1905 or 06, right? She starts crying crazy. And I mean like uncontrollably. And I'm like, what's wrong with Grandma Lucille? She like, they gonna come get Danny. They call me Danny. They gonna come get Danny. They gonna come get him. They gonna come get him. I'm like, what is she talking about? I'm laughing because the white boy, I beat him up. They gonna come get him. They gonna come get him. As I got older, I realized what she was crying about. She was crying about the Emmett Till situations that we've gone through in our history. And I'm just gonna assume everyone know what happened to Emmett Till. They said he whispered or whistled at the white girl or did whatever, and they came and got him. She thought they were gonna come and get me. She was literally like, we gotta get him out of here. And my grandmother's like, no, it's not like that no more, Mama. It's not like that. And I didn't know what they were talking about. Nobody feels
it definitely still is like that. It definitely still is like that. And so one of the things, because for your grandmother to react that way, you know, she witnessed and even experienced the Jim Crow times, you know, witnessing police brutality. And remember, there weren't camera phones back then.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't realize that police brutality has always been a crisis in our community. It's just that now technology has afforded more exposure and visibility.
This ain't new.
And I'm sorry?
I was saying this isn't new. I'm agreeing.
Yeah, this is not new. And so whether you can relate or not, having the talk with Black kids about being careful in white spaces is something that continues to be a necessary conversation. And my question for Truth Nation, and Dame, I'm gonna kick it off with you. We're gonna take a break and we come back. Here's my question. As we know, the governor of Illinois, the governor of Maryland, Wes Moore, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, have all taken some legal action to prevent President Trump and his administration deploying military force, i.e. the National Guard, in our streets, in our communities. Do we evolve this into something broader, Truth Nation? And what I mean by that is there is obviously a power, a force that is trying to change the system and make it even worse in terms of how they profile, treat, and engage with young Black people, especially young Black men. What responsibility do our schools, our law enforcement, and lawmakers have in making this talk? I'm not talking about, responding or reacting to the deployment of military force. I'm talking about the conversations on how to prepare our young Black men and even our young Black women that are in school on how to navigate through this force of authority and military presence in our streets. Because at the end of the day, and I hate to say this, but I have to because this is the truth. I don't want to see more headlines regarding young Black kids being shot. Because yesterday we talked about Devontae Mitchell. If I heard the word one more time, accidental, Brother Dame, I was going to throw up. Because we keep associating killing Black people as an accident. And yes, I said it, just like that. And with this new increased military presence, we need to understand that just having the talk at home is not enough. We need the mayor, the county executive, the police chief, the sheriff, the MPS superintendent. We need all of these leaders, whether they're elected or not, to enforce the awareness and conversations around how to navigate. Because the last time I checked, the majority of kids and teenagers in Milwaukee are Black and brown. You're listening to Truth in the Morning with Brother Dame, Elsie, and DT. We come back. We're going to hear more from Brother Dame. We want to hear from you. Are you having the talk? Have you already had the talk with your Black kids, your brown kids? Are you somebody who just received the talk regarding how to navigate this newfound authoritative presence in the streets? Let us know, 833-212-1017. We're going to hear more from Brother Dame. You are listening again to The Truth in the Morning. Stay locked in.
You're listening to Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
Ride the wave to clean at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for a winning shine. Become a monthly member and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 per day. Plus, skip the wait in the fast lane and enjoy unbeatable amenities like free vacuums and tire air. Visit any of their convenient locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, Mount Pleasant, and New Berlin. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Learn more at tsunamiexpress.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know it's not just a car, it also drives your children's dreams. So whether you're going to soccer practice, robotics club, or opening night in the school play, we help protect those dreams. Save up to 23% when you bundle auto and home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 101.7 The Truth.
What was the life change? We all know it happened, and we know things happen, and you have bad kidneys, but what was the life change afterwards?
A couple things. Before they even allow you to get on the list, they make you go through a battery of tests. And, a lot of people don't qualify because they're overweight. athlete, or they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So all those things are requirements before you can even get approved to be on the list. So I had...
Wait, you got to be approved to be on the list?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's interesting. There's a professional athlete or former professional athlete I know right now that has kidney disease, and he's on dialysis, and he wants to get on the list, and he's not accepting all the things you have to do, to get on the list. But yeah, so for me, I spent 30 years in the automobile industry. That's 12, 14-hour days, eating whatever somebody brings you to eat, whatever you run out and grab, McDonald's, whatever. It was never salads and,
Yeah, but that was a choice, right?
It was a choice. Yeah. But I had to change all of that to even qualify to be on the list. I had to get down to the weight I had to be at. I had to get my phosphorus under control, my potassium under control.
Wait a minute. Even though somebody said they would give you a kidney,
absolutely,
you had to still make yourself eligible?
Absolutely.
Nah, that's okay.
When I mentioned the athlete, his relative actually died, and they wanted to take his organs, and they couldn't because he wasn't qualified. He wasn't on the list. Wow. Yeah, you have to be.
So there are over 100,000 people on that waiting list. So they are very serious.
And how many donors do we have?
And that's the problem. We don't have nearly enough donors.
Wow.
And that's why it's such a critical need. But they are serious about who they're giving that gift of life to, because there are so many people who are literally dying waiting for it.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
We got southbound 41 backing up from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. Northbound heavy from before Mayfair Road up to Capitol. Eastbound 94, watch for backups starting around 76th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to 35th. The westbound side slowing from 27th to Mitchell Boulevard. And everything else is looking pretty good. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, partly sunny, windy, cool, a high of 63. Tonight, mainly clear and breezy, a low of 47. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
It's Friday, y'all. It's Friday, y'all. It's Friday, y'all. Friday. Good morning. You are listening to Truth in the Morning. We got living legend, Brother Dame Elsie, in the building.
Thank you.
This is your girl, DT. And we also have, on the ones and twos, our incredible producer, Andrew. Good morning, Andrew. We haven't heard from you all day. What's cracking?
I know. You guys have been excited going back and forth. I'm just hanging out back here, I guess.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. It is Potawatomi Sip to That Friday, so we're talking about the things we're most excited to talk about, DT. So what are you sipping on this week?
Ooh, I'm sipping on the fact that I'm a proud, beautiful Black woman who, by the grace of God, still has clients. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Woo! Because over 320,000 of us have been so mistreated when it comes to work. So I just want to give God all the glory and praise. Hallelujah. All right, I'm done. Do you think that's kind of weird that I combine sipping with giving God the praise? Well, Jesus turned water into wine, so it's okay.
Hallelujah. Amen.
Amen.
Well,
what are you sipping on, Dame?
I'm sipping to the return of normalcy. I had planning Hip Hop Week and going through all of that stuff. I had so much on my plate that it kind of even took my health away a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Not that I could have got sick from Hip Hop Week. It doesn't matter. But just the fact that I had so much going on and I still was doing all that I regularly do and then I was doing Hip Hop Week. I'm happy that this week it's been a return to normalcy. My health has returned back. Stuff at home is returning normal because, you start doing a bunch of stuff, everything gets thrown off. So, again, I'm just sipping to a return to normalcy, regular schedule, and just things that I know. I know what's going to happen next. For the last 2 months, it was like I didn't know what was going to happen. Something else may come up. This may happen. That may happen. And yesterday, one of the artists it took a minute, and they finally got their money. So that was like the conclusion of Hip Hop Week. Hip Hop Week ended in August. It ended the 26th, the 23rd.
And congratulations, because although I wasn't there to be, physically there, I saw the social media footage and it was going viral. So shout out to Dame, Khalil, or can Grace say Khalil, Khalif Rainey. Thank y'all so much for that. I know we do need to go to our Truth Talk and text line. We got Evan. Thank you. Or no. Let's see.
Hello.
Is it Pat or Evan we got on hold? Good morning. You're live. Is this Evan?
Yes. Hello.
Yes. Good morning, Evan. Thank you so much for your patience. You are live with Brother Dame and your girl DT. What is your question or comment?
Well, I got a comment about the situation and the image that has been put on black people right now, because this is very aggravating time for people. And people are being pushed to make it seem like they're snapping out and going crazy. And you look at that Devontae Mitchell situation, he didn't threaten anybody, he didn't harm anybody, didn't he actually fight against anybody, and he still ended up losing his life because, security saw a black man and, they wanted to take out frustration and show how much they can handle situations better, but weren't qualified to do so. And, it was a bad light for us because, he was panicking and it looked like that. But then you got another situation that brother Israel guy, I guess he really scared some people. And he's talking about there's some injustice going on with some tampering with evidence. So, what are we even doing?
Thank you for your call, Evan. Appreciate you. And the question is, what are we even doing? We've been talking about the most recent reaction to this increase of military presence, National Guard being deployed in major black and brown communities, which is requiring a lot of us as parents or as guardians to have that talk with our black children. Pat, thank you so much for holding. You are live with Brother Dame and your girl DT. What is your question or comment?
Good morning. I first want to say that I love the chemistry. It is wonderful to hear Dame be so smooth and for DT to be so bubbly. It's so great. I love it.
Thank
Easy
you.
on the ear.
We appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
I do want to say that no, I have not. I've had to talk about the police with my children. My mother of four. Ever since they were little, sit back, the police behind us, the type of thing we do, and not obey, but comply so that you won't be laid out on the concrete. And I say dead men have no tail. So, comply with the police and let us deal with whatever we have to deal with in court. So those have been my instructions to my children. Like I said, 3 black sons, 1 daughter. I had the conversation about the military or the National Guard presence because I don't know. I've never experienced it. I listen to the radio station to get information and to get advice on how to deal with the situation because I'm unfamiliar. I don't know if they're going to be in our neighborhoods, or they're going to be in a certain area. So I have not had the conversation, and I would love to hear from you two about how should we approach the conversation with our children from experience or what you know more about it, because I believe a lot of us don't even know what that means to have that in our community. Thanks for listening.
I love Pat. Dame, the mic is yours, brother. Let's hear from you.
First of all, Pat, don't. I would concern myself less with the militarization that could possibly happen because that the likelihood of that happening is far off. It's happening in D.C. It happened in L.A., but they just ruled all of that illegal. So I don't think Trump and them are going to do. But what your kids are going to face every day is the police. And what they're going to face every day is the racism that they walk into when, like DT says, when they walk in the store, when the police pulls them over. We used to go out, and in high school, I talked about the first time I got it, but the time it was most effective was when we were in high school, and my guy Russell Stamper, he was the older of us, so he got his driver's license first. And so his father was Judge Stamper. So every time before we went out, Judge Stamper, when I was 16, 17, Judge Stamper would line us up against the garage. And as he lined us up against the garage, he would go to each one of us and get in our face like the police would. And he'd be like, this is what you gonna do when they say this? What you gonna do when they say this? What you gonna do? And as we were young, we thought, oh, Judge Stamper is tripping again. But he might have saved our lives. Because there's been situations where we got pulled over by the police, and that's what we would do. Yes, sir. No, sir. And as my daughter started driving and she started being out here, I started giving her those same speeches. She got pulled over in Glendale or something like that, and she's my daughter Cree. She's a fiery one, right? She reminds me of myself. She's very and so she kind of was bucking back, as they say. And we had to tell her mother and I had to tell her, Cree, don't worry about that. And like the caller said, we'll deal with that. On a later date. We just want you to survive, because all this person has to do is say you was acting wild or you went for a gun or anything, make up anything that they've made up on black people for centuries since the creation of the slave patrol, which eventually turned into the police department. We have to teach our kids about that. And the fact that it's 70 years since Emmett Till, and yet we're still giving our kids and our young adults that same speech as they go into the public is wild to me.
And what's even more wild to me, to add on to what you just schooled us on, Brother Dame, is that we just witnessed this with the Devontae Mitchell sentencing, and they ruled the death accidental. When the video footage showed that there were so many attempts, efforts, and deliveries of intentional abuse and assault. Mm-hmm. Which led ultimately to the suffocation of where oxygen did not go to Devontae Mitchell's brain. And the whole, there was cocaine in his system. Like I said yesterday, Brother Dame, you know how many people go to work with cocaine in their system? And people go to work with marijuana and alcohol in their system?
But did they have a toxicology test before they killed him to realize that he had this in him? They didn't
Thank
know
you.
that.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's not, because these are all things that we are going to have to discuss with our children and our young adults as part of navigating through this. And you know what? I'm not even going to say the word navigating because it sounds too formal. We got to have the talk with our kids on survival instructions, like you just mentioned. This is about surviving. This is about not dying or being killed because of pride or because of problems with authority. This is about living to see another day. So this is not the time to fight against, because here's the thing, and we here at The Truth do not condone, promote, or advocate for violence. My thing is this. Thank you. My thing is this. It's live radio, y'all. If you bring a knife to a gun show, you're already putting yourself in a weaker position. So there's no need for you to even think that you can win with military presence, because we're not equipped for that. So it's important that we have these conversations to keep our young people alive. But my thing, Dame, is, this goes back to the other question. Do you think these talks should be formalized? Because if the majority of students that attend Milwaukee public schools are black, which they are, that's a fact, and the majority of these black students are spending 8 to 10 hours inside of a Milwaukee public school, should we not be having these conversations as well in the schools by the teachers? I mean, I'm asking. 833-212-1017.
Listen, I agree. I think we should be having these conversations. But the fact of the matter is the MPS and public schools themselves are part of the system, so they're not going to have these conversations. Because having these conversations would be admitting that these things exist. It would be admitting that there is a bias in the way that the police are policing black communities, the over-policing of black communities. It would be an admission by a part of the system that there needs to be something done with the other part of the system. That wouldn't happen. So I would love for that to be the case, but I think that the only way we get this messages out is via the parents and via those of us who work with the youth in an official way, but unofficially, right? Work with the youth. That's the only way we realistically can get that message out.
Well, Dame, we appreciate you because, again, we know that you are one of the most sought after. I mean, you up there with like Brother Tory. When people need, look, I need somebody who's relatable, who can connect, who can resonate. So thank you for giving us your thoughts and insight, because I know there are many people like our valued listener, Pat, that just don't even know where to begin to have that conversation, that have Black children. Because it's coming, y'all. It's coming. And here's the thing. You got to stay ready in order to be ready. You can't wait so make sure you're preparing to have these conversations right now, because whether or not the military presence, i.e. the National Guard, is deployed in the streets of Milwaukee, we don't want to have to get ready when they're already here. We want to be ready. We want to stay ready, and we got to have these conversations. When we come back, we're going to get into some more of our light-hearted topics. This has been a great show so far, Dame. I just love working with you.
That was a great little segment of Sip to It Friday that, of course, was brought to you by our good friends at Potawatomi Hotel Casino, Milwaukee's top gaming destination.
Hey.
There you go.
Love it, love it. All right, so we come back. And if you still want to let us know what you're sipping on from the week, 833-212-1017. We're wrapping this up. We're getting y'all ready for, I think it's 8 more hours of live consecutive Black Talk Radio, the only station that brings you consecutive hours of live Black Talk Radio, 101.7. This is Truth in the Morning with Brother Dame and your girl DT. We'll be back.
You're listening to Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
Tune into the award-winning 101.7 The Truth this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the debut of Forward Together for Kids, a monthly conversation with real talk about K-12 education in Milwaukee. We will tackle tough issues and make sure you're informed about everything happening from the State House to the schoolhouse that affects kids' education. Brought to you by City 4 Collective, a local nonprofit working to ensure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family. Again, that is Forward Together for Kids this Saturday at 11:30 a.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on drawing Thursday. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward plate, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
It's 101.7 The Truth. Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When a customer chooses Pella, one of the most important things to them is honoring that trust and commitment. A lot of customers might have apprehensions about inviting someone out to their home. But when you see the experience and professionalism, you can trust them with bringing your project to life. Their vision is to be the company that people want to do business with. Watching them work from idea to installation gives you the ability to see firsthand the care taken to ensure the Pella experience is complete. When you want long-lasting comfort and reliability, it's easy to trust Pella. Every piece is specifically constructed for you and your home, always designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance. The Pella team takes pride in constructing quality windows and doors with meticulous attention to every detail. Order by the end of the month and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 9/30/2025. This is Truth in the Morning on 101.7 The Truth.
Welcome back to 101.7 The Truth. Truth in the Morning. At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they have been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and designing. They offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing. Perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit them at greatimpress.com. That is greatimpressions.com. Is it Great Impress or Great Impressions? Okay. Great Impress. We are here when you need us. Okay, we need to find out. Is it greatimpress.com or greatimpressions.com? Because I don't want to tell the people nothing wrong, you know.
Yep, look, that's what we call it, the truth. We're going to always give you the 101.7, the truth. Speaking of the truth, again, Dame, as we getting ready to kick off this weekend, appreciate being able to collaborate with you on this beautiful Friday morning.
Being here with DT. I missed you, DT. I ain't seen you in a minute since Juneteenth.
I know, I missed you too.
That's a long
Look,
time.
I don't want to. Let me stay professional. I don't want to get your lady friend mad. But I'm glad you said it on air in front of everybody. You didn't pull me to the side and give me a heads up first. You didn't break it to me gently, but that's okay.
I thought you knew.
Why would I know? How would I know?
You know.
You just said we haven't seen each other since Juneteenth. Somebody on our YouTube message board said, Mr. Hughes, our brother Sherwin Hughes is going to be mad. You know that's my other baby daddy, so I got to be.
That's your real work husband. I'm the side work husband. I'm the one that fills in. I'm the cousin sub of the day work husband. Sherwin, I be listening to you want to talk crazy about me saying I got a lady friend, which is nothing. You know, you want to talk crazy to me. Y'all be up here flirty McNerdy. Don't they?
Flirty McNerdy.
Yeah,
listen.
Flirty for 30 in here, some joker.
Flirty for 30. I can tell you are a lyricist because they just come right off the top of that beautiful brown bald head. Now listen, because I know your lady friend is listening. Listen, I don't want no parts of Dame. Dame's my brother. I flirt with him because look, we got to get ratings. We got to give people what they want. But to Dame's lady friend, I wish y'all the best. I want y'all to be happy. Because I don't want no smoke when I come back to Milwaukee in a couple of weeks. I don't want to be walking out the studio and I got a bunch of folks waiting on me.
That pimp player talk when they say lady friend, that's my lady friend. You don't get no names or nothing. You just be like, that's my lady friend. So look, all the ladies think they're your lady friend. Shout out to my man.
Ladies, go ahead, Dame, finish. Because I'm going to say something as soon as you finish.
Shout out to my brothers that wear purple suits. Ladies.
Like Jalen Hurts. Speaking of Jalen Hurts, I know we're kind of digressing here, but what happened with the game last night? Because I know there was a storm in Philadelphia. The Cowboys and the Eagles were playing.
Storm.
So what happened? Did they end up finishing the game?
They finished the game.
I went to bed.
It was a great game. Dak played well. Jalen Hurts played well. The problem was for my Dallas people, CeeDee Lamb didn't play well. He dropped 4 passes and dropped a pass that probably would have won the game. Dropped 2 of them that would have put them up for Dallas. And so not that they weren't like end zone catches, but they were like far down the field. And the way that Dallas had been playing, they was going to put points on the board. The first half, nobody could stop nobody. And then
I saw that.
Then the thunderstorm happened and everybody got their defenses together and it became a defensive struggle. They only scored like 3 more points or something like that the rest of the half. But yeah, it was a great game, and I love to see it. And I'm always like this: if it's 2 black quarterbacks, I'm kind of caught in the 2 I support. And then it goes, okay, it's 2 black quarterbacks. So who's the next star? The next star?
Well, there was 1 black quarterback as far as I'm concerned, but we ain't gonna get into that.
Oh, okay, but okay, you know more.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
I feel you. I understand what you're saying, but from the just technically, there was 2 black.
Look at Andrew.
So
Andrew's like, what's going on?
To the coach or something like that. But anyway, it was a great game. Jalen played good. Everybody played good. I love Jalen Hurts because of the stances he takes and the way that he's not afraid to speak his mind. But yeah, both. And you know what?
Is that why you love Jalen Hurts? I'm so glad you brought him up, ladies.
I don't love him for the reason y'all love him. That's what you're
I am a NFL diehard fan. Okay, I love football. Most of y'all that know me know my team. Bear down. I bleed blue and orange.
Oh my God!
Now, Dame, you didn't know that?
I remember. I forgot that's who it was.
Yeah.
As you said it, I'm like, that's why I said I forgot you like the Bears.
So I appreciate your condolences. Anyway, back to Jalen. Ladies, that man, if you are not a football fan, but you are a heterosexual woman, I strongly encourage you to Google the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl winning quarterback, because they're the Super Bowl reigning champs right now, Jalen Hurts. Now, ladies, I've got some difficult news, because Lord knows it hurt my heart. He is married.
When did he get married?
He got married last year, right after the Super Bowl.
Shout out to Jalen Hurts
and his wife is beautiful.
She
is a beautiful black, bliggity black woman. So I saw one black quarterback play last night. Anywho, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that.
So Dak like the snow? He like to play in the snow?
I ain't saying nothing. All I know is that when I was here,
hey man,
I ain't saying nothing. But you know, I live here in Dallas.
I know I'm on air with a black woman now, but come on, y'all. Come on.
I ain't saying nothing. All I'm saying is that Jalen Hurts, MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback, perfectly. When I tell you that God took his time, ladies, that man is perfect.
Ain't the show over now? Ain't we done?
That man is. There is not. It's cheap. I mean, look, y'all go check out Jalen Hurts. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm still bear down, but man, that Jalen Hurts. Woo! That's a fine man.
Listen,
all right, y'all. Brother Dane, but he ain't got nothing on you, baby. Thank you so much for joining. Andrew, thank you for always holding the fort down this week. Thank you, Truth Nation. Thank you for listening. And thank you, Jalen Hurts. Thank you, parents of Jalen Hurts. Thank you to the parents of Jalen Hurts. Y'all make it a great week. Up next, Truth in the Morning with Professor Hughes. We're going to have a guest co-host. Stay locked in. This is the best station on planet Earth. Yes, we are rooting for everybody from Milwaukee. Love y'all.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits